And there are many people who know what it is like to sit in a classroom while a gunman opens fire. A North Carolina A&T student is one of them. She survived a high school shooting several years ago. She shared her story with WFMY News 2's Nixon Norman.
November 3rd, 2021 is a day that will forever be etched into Zoe Touray's mind. That was the day a school shooter took the lives of her fellow Oxford High students in Michigan.
It felt like 5 minutes and 5 hours all at once, but I was able to text my mom that I love her, thinking that those were going to be my last words. And no child, no matter how old, no person should have to do that.
The North Carolina A&T sophomore graduated from Oxford High back in 2022. She says at the time of the shooting, she was simply going to her 5th period class. 4 people lost their lives that day at the hands of a school shooter. Very similar to the school shooting that just took place in Winder, Georgia at Appalachia High School, where another 4 people lost their lives to gun violence. Touray says hearing about news like this is traumatic.
It just takes me back to the moment, or the moments that led up to our shooting, just kind of the day itself.
She says before the shooting, she lived a normal life.
But first I wanted to be a chef, and I wanted to be a fashion designer, and a million things that kids want to be.
But being one of the survivors of the Oxford High shooting has caused her to turn that pain into purpose.
Once that happened, it really got me into the political space and trying to figure out kind of why the U.S. kind of like, why do we do what we do, and why do we have school shootings? And so that's become a big part of my life.
She first started doing work with March for Our Lives, a nationwide nonprofit against gun violence. Then she started her own nonprofit called SEE, or Survivors Embracing Each Other.
The whole goal is to eradicate the public health crisis that is gun violence, because it is a public health crisis.
Another goal of hers is to meet survivors where they're at, to support them through her own experiences. The focus of her organization is keeping gun violence specifically out of schools.
Children deserve to feel safe in schools, and we need to make that happen. There's no reason that we should be having this issue in the first place.
Touray and I spoke about solutions when it comes to gun violence in schools. She says there has to be more conversations surrounding mental health and gun reform in order to see a change.